Hey everybody, welcome to another game of History Maker Baseball. As you heard in the introduction, or as you might have suspected, this is going to include the Durham Bulls. This is a request by Tony Spicciali, which I was happy to oblige. And they're going to be facing the Toledo Mud Hens, probably two of the more iconic franchises in the International League. And the game's going to be played at Durham Bulls Athletic Park, and you can see a miniature picture of Durham Bulls Athletic Park. And if you look real close, you can see over the blue monster there is the bull, where if you hit the bull you get the steak. So it's a little breezy out here, which is par for the course when I'm trying to do a video on the outside. The sunshine is out, so we're not worried about any rain, but the wind and the breeze is going to be a potential issue. So with that in mind, I'm going to again be playing inside of the box top to try to shield the you can see that card already hit the dirt, trying to shield the cards from the wind because these are such lightweight cards. The starting pitchers for today's game: Jason Standridge will be on the mound for the Durham Bulls, and Shane Liu will be on the mound for the Toledo Mud Hens. And as you can see, they're in home and road colors with the logos on the player cards. I'm going to go ahead and take this down, these top three, because they're going to blow all over the place and it's just going to be a mess. We'll go ahead and show the umpires for today's game. Patrolling first base will be patrolling the plate will be James Hoy. At first base will be Stu Robertson, and patrolling second and third is Mike Fichter, because the IL only has 3 umpires and that third base / second base umpire has double duty. All right, now let's look at the starting lineups for each team. First, for the visiting Toledo Mud Hens, center fielder Andres Torres will hit leadoff. Omar Infante, the shortstop, will hit second. Ryan Jackson is in right field, he will hit third. Craig Monroe is the left fielder, he will bat cleanup. Eric Munson is at first, he will hit fifth. Brandon Inge catches, bats sixth. Chris Wakeland, the DH, will bat seventh. Craig Wilson at third will hit 8th, and Ramon Santiago, the shortstop, will bat 9th. For the Durham Bulls, homestanding Durham Bulls, Ryan Friel, the center fielder, will lead things off. Carl Crawford's batting second and playing left field. Emil Brown is the right fielder, hitting third. Dave McCarty is at first base, and he will bat cleanup. Jared Sandberg's the DH, and he will hit 5th. Toby Hall catches, hit 6th. Andy Sheets is at third, he will hit 7th. Jason Smith is the shortstop, batting 8th, and playing second base, batting 9th, is Brooks Badeau. All right, so all those are out of the way. We are all ready to go. Again, I'm at the Little League field. I find it a nice, quiet, cozy place to play on days that I'm off, and the weather is nice. Sans the breeze, of course. I could do without that right now. It was nice when I was walking around the park and getting my exercise in, but when I'm trying to roll dice and look at cards, the wind can be slightly an issue. All right, so we are ready to go, and leading off will be Andres Torres for the Mud Hens. And we're underway from Durham Bulls Athletic Park. 1-2-2. 1-2-2 ask, is the pitcher a workman? Jason Standridge is not a workman. He's a star with semi-flash and semi-control. So he's not a workman. We skipped that. Is the batter a champion or a whiffer? That's the next check. And Torres is a whiffer. So since he's a whiffer, he will get an infield single. So Torres beat it out, as the third baseman, Andy Sheets, was unable to come up with it. It's a leadoff single for Torres. Torres is on for Omar Infante. And Infante a 3.55. So we'll check Infante's numbers. 3.55. Is the pitcher a struggler? No. Is the batter a champion? Infante is not a champion, so he will ground out to second base unless he's a whiffer, which he is not. So let's ground out to second on the lead die of 3. That is a fielder's choice, so it is a 4-6 fielder's choice for 1 away. And that brings us to the third batter of the ball game, Ryan Jackson, the right fielder. And believe me, it's a little bit odd not playing with the game boards, but due to the elements I have to overcome. Here's Ryan Jackson, 1-4-6, and a 1-4-6 for Ryan Jackson. Ask, does the pitcher have flash? Jason Standridge has semi-flash. Desiredi says he has flash. So therefore it's a strikeout unless Jackson has a good eye. He's actually eager and a whiffer, so that's not going to fly. So Standridge rings him up for out number 2. And that brings up Craig Monroe, the left fielder. And we get a 1-2-3, which is flash and fresh. He's not flash because the Desiredi is a blank, but he is fresh, but it's still going to be a ground ball to short instead of a strikeout. But the out is recorded either way. And the top of the first is over. So we go to the bottom of the first. I get a drink of water here because it is a little warm on this Tuesday after Labor Day. It is a little warm. Here's Ryan Friel. Yes, I'm extending my Labor Day weekend by 1 day. And I'm doing it, extending it by playing baseball board games outdoors. Go figure. Well, it's better than anything else that I can think of right now. All right, here's the iron catcher. Is the catcher iron? The catcher for Toledo is in. She is not iron. Does Friel have a good eye? No, he does not. So since he does not have a good eye, he will strike out. So that's a strikeout right away for Shane Liu. He puts the whiff on Ryan Friel. That was in blue, so we are going to the right now chart where a semi-hot Liu will be facing a neutral Crawford. Let's see what we get. We get a 5-6. It asks if it's a hot pitcher. Let's see. Yes, he is. So it says on here, shows best. Let me show it to you. It shows best stuff. Retire side, alternating ground out and fly out. So we got a ground out and a fly out. So Crawford's going to ground to second, and we're going to say Emil Brown's going to fly to left, and that's going to end the inning. So after 1 complete, we are scoreless here in Durham. So we go to the top of the second, and Eric Munson will lead things off. And we get a 1-3-6. 1-3-6 is asking if Standridge is an ace, which he is not. Then it's asking, is the batter a whiffer or cold? Munson is a whiffer. So since he's a whiffer, he will strike out. So down on strikes goes Munson. There were a lot of strikeouts in this season, so there are a lot of players rated as eager and whiffers, and a lot of pitchers are given the control quality. So I'm hoping that keeps the walks down, unless we get the dreaded 2-3-6, of course. Or we almost did 2-3-5, so we're 1 away. 2-3-5. Is he wild? No. Is the batter eager? Inge is actually semi-patient. He's one of the rare ones. So he will ground to second unless he's patient. Desiredi says he's patient, so he will walk. So Brandon Inge gets a 1-out walk, and that brings up Chris Wakeland. And Wakeland a 2-5-6. Standridge is not a struggler. Is Wakeland a champion or patient? He is neither. So he will have infield drama to deal with. And on the infield for the Bulls, their infield, by ratings that I have just kind of put together based on their stats, Sheets is semi-gold, and everyone else is neutral in the infield. Well, they're all neutral. 3-4. And now you hear a helicopter go by, perhaps. You'll hear anything outside, won't we? 3-4 on the infield drama. Third baseman gold. Sheets was the one who was semi-gold, but Desiredi says no, so instead it's a base hit. So Desiredi did not pay off for him. That base hit is going to mean a 2-base advancement since it's a lead die of 3. And we have runners at the corners with only 1 out. And that'll bring up third baseman Craig Wilson, number 8 hitter. And we get a 2-4-6, which I believe is a control check. And the Desiredi has come up blank. Standards needed that to have control, so he does not have control. Is the batter an eager or a sad sack? Craig Wilson is neither an eager nor a sad sack, so he will get a walk, and that will load the bases. That will load the bases with 1 out for number 9 hitter Ramon Santiago, switch hitting shortstop. And now the breeze is kicking up again as my score sheet wants to fly away or fold up. It's on a clipboard, but the bottom sheets are trying to flap off on me. Here's Ramon Santiago, bases loaded, 1 out. And Standards is now a semi-struggler because 3 consecutive base runners have reached. It's a 166. 166 for Standridge. Is he a workman? No, he's not. Is Santiago a whiffer? Santiago's a semi-whiffer, but Sire Die says no. So it's a ground ball to third, and that actually helps Durham better because that's a double play on a lead die of 1. That is a 5, 4, 3 around the horn double play, and it gets him out of the inning. So Standridge struggled, but got through it. We go to the bottom of the second, and it's still scoreless. Now, that result was in red, but since they're minor league cards, we're not doing the thing about icon and prospect and all that. In theory, they're all prospects, most of them anyway. So I'm just deciding to eschew that result. As I get another sip of water. And we're ready to go with a regular bat. For David McCarty, the first baseman, his card is loaded based on his stats. Semi-hero, semi-champion, home run king. So he is a whiffer, so can't have everything. 3-5-6, that's actually the left-right split. McCarty is a righty, and Shane Liu is a righty. So when you have the 3-5-6 and you get a righty versus a righty, that is a strikeout. And that comes up usually once or twice a game. One time I had it come up 6 times, so it's really, and sometimes it doesn't come up at all. So it just depends on how the dice are rolling that day. Here's Jared Sandberg, the DH. It's a 2-4-4. So for Sandberg, well, we'll check Lou first of all. 2-4-4. Is Lou an ace? No, Lou is not an ace. Is Sandberg a champion? Sandberg is not a champion, so we're going to have a ground ball to short. And that's out number 2. And actually ask if he's a whiffer, but the Sire Die says no, he's not a whiffer. So there's 2 away, and that brings up Toby Hall, the catcher. He's got a nice card as well, based on his numbers. 1-2-5, is the pitcher a struggler? No, he's a workman, but he's not a struggler. Then it asks, is the batter patient? No, Toby Hall is actually eager. So he's going to ground to third unless he's a whiffer. He's not a whiffer, so the ground ball to third will stand. And at the end of 2, we are scoreless here at Durham Bulls Athletic Park. We go to the top of the third, and we're back to the top of the order, Andres Torres. And this is the last inning of full freshness for both starters. 5-6-6. 5-6-6. Is he wild? No. Does the batter Torres have a good eye? He is semi-patient, but does not have a good eye. So he will strike out. And there's 1 away, and that results in blue. So we go to the right now chart for the next at bat of Omar Infante. Last at bat, Infante reached on a fielder's choice, so he is neutral. And Standridge is semi-hot based on that strikeout. So he is hot again, 3-6 for a hot pitcher. But it's asked if he's a cold pitcher. No, he's not. Since he's not cold, he's not going to miss the outside corner. It's going to be a pop-up to the catcher. So it's a pop-up to Toby Hall for out number 2. And that will bring up number 3 hitter in the order, Ryan Jackson. He struck out his first time up. It's a 1-2-5, and that's asked if Standards a struggler, which he is not. Is the batter patient? No, he's actually eager. He's eager. So it's a ground ball to third unless he's a whiffer, and guess what? Ryan Jackson is the dreaded whiffer, so Jackson goes down on strikes for the second time. 0 for 2 with 2 Ks, and that's going to end the inning. We go to the bottom of the third, no score. Excuse me. I'll get another drink of water. Okay, we are ready for the bottom of the third. As soon as this wind gust dies down. And that'll bring up Andy Sheets to lead things off. He's the third baseman. There are several people walking in the general area, so I'm always curious what they think when they see me up here. Like, what is this guy doing? But I don't know. Maybe I'm being paranoid. All right, here's 1-2-6. 1-2-6. Ask about control. No, I'm sorry. It's a freshness check, and he is still fresh because we're in the third inning. So that's a line out to second, and there's 1 away. As Andy Sheets is gone. Here's Jason Smith. 3-3-6 for Jason Smith. And a 3-3-6 ask, is the pitcher an ace? No, he's not. Is the batter sad sack, utility, or patient? and Jason Smith is none of that. So he will single to center field, and that's a 1-out single for Jason Smith. Again, that was in red, but we're ignoring that. So we go right to the next at bat for the number 9 hitter, Brooks Badeau. If there's nobody out, he might bunt, but with 1 out, they're going to let him swing away. 2-2-3. 2-2-3. Is pitcher wild? No. Is he slugger or utility? He is neither one. So he's going to single to left field. So Brooks Badeau with a single. And the bottom portion of the order comes through with back-to-back singles, puts runners at first and second with 1 out. The top of the order, and Ryan Friel. And we get a 1-3-5, which is a unusual or memorable play in the field, I should say. When you get a red 1 and a black 3, that goes to memorable plays in the field. So we'll see if we get something memorable here. We get a 4-4, which is going to send us to highlight reel B. So whenever you roll doubles on these secondary charts in the red, you go to the next chart, which is a highlight reel B, which in theory gives you more unusual plays. It's a 2-5 on highlight reel B. 2-5, 2 errors on same play. Bobbled ball by outfielder, then throw glances off second base, batter to second. So that's interesting. Let's see how we're going to work the base running on this. First time I ever had that result. 2 errors on the same play. Bobble ball by the outfielder, then ball glances off. So if the batter goes to second, then we will assume the runner will go. The runners will go 2 bases. So we're going to say that sounds like Friel is going to reach on. We'll call it an E8. We'll give the error to center fielder Torres, which will move Smith to third, Badeau to second. Then the second error on the play of the throw glancing off the second baseman's glove is going to allow Smith to score, and we'll move Badeau to third on the E8, and it will move Friel up to second. So don't have the official scoring on this, but I'm calling it a 2-base error, and 2 runners will move up. The runners will move up 2 bases, so the runner on second will score. Runner on first, Badeau, makes it to third. We now have runners at second and third with only 1 out, and that will bring up Carl Crawford. So we get a 1-4-5 for Shane Liu to see if he can get out of this. 1-4-5, is he a struggler? No, he's not a struggler. So we go to the next check, which is a ground ball to third, and that's going to be a double. No, it won't be a double play because there's runners on second and third. But with the lead die of 1, the runners have to hold. So it's just simply going to be a ground ball, actually to first, not to third. My bad. Lefty batter. I ruled that to go to first. So Carl Crawford is out, but it was a hard hit ball and the runners cannot advance. So here's Emil Brown as Liu tries to pitch out of this. 2-4-4, and a 2-4-4. He's an ace? No, he's not. Is he a champion? Emil Brown is not a champion, so he's going to ground out to short unless he's a whiffer, which he is not because the decider die says no. So it's going to be a ground ball to short, and that's going to get him out of the inning. So Shane Liu pitches out of it with only 1 run allowed. It's going to be an unearned run, and after 3 complete, it is Durham 1 and Toledo nothing. So Craig Monroe steps to the plate, and now Standridge and Liu are both semi-fresh. We get a 3-3-5. So a 3-3-5. Is pitcher wild? No. Is he a sad sack? Craig Monroe is definitely not a sad sack, so he will single to right, and he will steal unless he's stoic. He is not stoic, so he will steal. So Craig Monroe leads off the 4th with a single, and then he steals second base. So he's in scoring position right away for Eric Munson, the cleanup hitter. I'm sorry, the 5th place hitter. First baseman Eric Munson, who struck out his first time up. 2-4-6, which is a control check. Standridge does not have control. He's got semi-control, but decider die is blank. So move on. Is the batter eager or a sad sack? And he is neither, so he will walk. So that puts runners at first and second with nobody out for Brandon Inge. And Inge walked his first time up. We get a 1-3-4. And a 1-3-4 asks, is it a gold catcher? No, Toby Hall is not gold. Is Inge a champion? Inge is not a champion. So we got outfield drama. And if we look in their outfield, Carl Crawford is gold, Ryan Friel is semi-gold, and Emil Brown is iron. So we got a good mixture there. See who's going to be checked on. It's 2-6 for the outfield drama. 2-6 is center fielder Stoic. No, Ryan Friel is center fielder, but he's active. So he will make the catch. And there's one away and nobody advances. So Inge flies to center for out number 1. Here's Chris Wakeland. Wakeland at 1-2-6, that's a freshness check. Desired eye is a dot, so we're still fresh. That means it's a line out to second base. And with a runner on second, we're going to roll the desired eye again to see if he gets doubled off. If it's a dot, he gets doubled off. And he does. So Craig Monroe got caught leaning there. Wakeland lines it to Badeau at second. He snags it, steps on the bag for a double play, and the inning is over. So down go the Mud Hens here in the 4th. They had something going, but it did not last. We go to the bottom of the 4th. It's still 1-0 in favor of the Durham Bulls. All right, 1-2-6 is another freshness check, but at this time Desired Eye says no. So Lou is not a fresh pitcher this time. Sad sack. Is McCarty a sad sack? Not hardly. So he will single past second base. And that results in blue. So we go to the right now chart for Sandberg's at bat. Sandberg is neutral, and Lou is semi-cold based on the hit he just gave up. So we'll see what happens on that. Now they're both neutral. 1-5. 1-5 says cold batter. No, he's not a cold batter. If he was, he would watch strike 3. Otherwise, he pounces on a pitch for a single through the shortstop. So it's a base hit. Lead eye of 1 means that McCarty only goes to second. But the Bulls have 2 on, nobody out for Toby Hall. Toby Hall, 1-1-2. A 1-1-2 check is asking, does the pitcher have flash? He does not. Is he a sad sack? Toby Hall is not a sad sack, so we got to check with scorer, which means we're either going to have a hit or an error and a 1-base advancement either way. So the bases are going to be loaded, it's just a matter of how they're loaded. So we'll check it officially. It's a 3, which means it's a base hit. So Toby Hall singles, and that will load the bases with nobody out for Andy Sheets, the third baseman. And now with the 3 consecutive hits, Lou again will become a semi-struggler. Semi-struggler facing Andy Sheets, who lined to second his first time up. 3-4-5. 3-4-5. Ask, is he iron catcher? No. Does he have a good eye? No, he does not. So it's a strikeout. Andy Sheets is out on strikes for the first out, and that results in blue. So we're going to the right now chart. And just like that, Shane Lou went from being a semi-struggler to now a semi-hot pitcher. And he's going to be facing Jason Smith, who is neutral. I'm sorry, he's hot, semi-hot, because he's singled. So it's semi-hot against semi-hot, but they're both going to be neutral now. 1-4. 1-4 says cold batter. No, he's not a cold batter, so he's going to fly to center rather than strike out. But it's still an out, so it's 2 away. And on a lead die of 1, the runner does not score from third. It's not a sacrifice fly, so it is simply a fly to center for out number 2. And it's up to number 9 hitter Brooks Badeau, who did single his last time up, but it's up to Badeau to keep things going here as the wind picks up just a tad on me. It's a 1, oh, there we go, look at that. It's even messing with Shane Lou a little bit. 1-4-5, trying to blow him off the mound. 1-4-5. So 1-4-5. Is the pitcher a struggler? No. Or was that in blue? That was in blue, wasn't it? No, that was the one we just had in blue. So this is a normal at bat. Okay, my bad. 1-4-5. Is he a struggler? No, he's not. So it's a ground ball to first, and that's going to end the inning. And again, Shane Lou pitches out of what could have been a lot worse damage. Bases loaded, nobody out, and he gets out of it. So we go to the 5th, and it's still amazingly only 1-0 in favor of the Bulls. So here's Craig Wilson to lead things off. It's a 3-3-4. 3-3-4, ace or star. Standridge is a star, so that's a pop out to first base, and there's 1 away. So Craig Wilson is out of there. Brings up Santiago, the shortstop. And his first time up, he grounded into a double play. So he'd like to do a little bit better this time. Put the dice on here so they don't fly away on me. 335. 335. Is he wild? No. Is the batter a sad sack? Ramon Santiago is not a sad sack, so he will single to right. He is stoic, so he won't steal, but he will single to right. So that's a 1-out single for Santiago. And that brings up Andres Torres. Torres, a 255. First we check Standridge, 255. Is he a star? Yes, he is. We've seen that just a few pitches ago. So that is going to be a strikeout because he does not have the good eye. So with the strikeout will stand. And Torres strikes out for the second time in a row. 2 down. And that brings up Omar Infante, the shortstop. I'm sorry, I got 2 people at shortstop. Something's not right here. So Santiago is actually at second. I'm sorry, Infante is actually at second, not at short. Okay, my bad. He's at second, not at short. Just noticed that. 124 ask about control. And yes, Standridge is semi-control. Desired Eye says he has control. So that means it's a ground ball to short, and that's going to end the inning. So Jason Standridge has shut out the Mud Hens through 5 innings. We go to the bottom of the 5th, and it's still only 1-0. It's kind of amazing that it's only 1-0. Here's Ryan Friel, the top of the order. 145. Ask, is the pitcher a struggler? No, he's not. So it's a ground ball to third base. And there's 1 away to start the 5th. Brings up Carl Crawford. He's been quiet, 2 ground outs. 113. Is the pitcher an ace? No. Is the batter a slugger? 113 is asking, is the batter a slugger? He is not a slugger. So therefore he will single to center, which is the other result here. It's a single to center, but there are 2 asterisks by it. But that only comes into play if he's a sad sack or a home run king, which he is not. So Carl Crawford, the single, will stand. So Carl Crawford is aboard for Emil Brown. 1 out, 1 on. Bottom of the 5th, Bulls lead 1-0. 124 is another control check, and Shane Liu doesn't even need the desired eye. He has the control feature. So that's a ground ball to the shortstop, and on a lead dive 1, that's a double play. 6-4-3. And Shane Liu continues to evade trouble. We've completed 5. We go to the 6th. It is still 1-0 in favor of Durham. Last inning of of semi-freshness for Standridge. Unless he keeps the shutout going, then he has a chance to keep that semi-fresh going. Here's Ryan Jackson. 1-2-6. Is he fresh? No, he's not. Desired Eye came up blank. Is the batter a sad sack? No, he's not. So it's a single for Ryan Jackson. And that result was in blue. So we go to the right now chart. And now that we're in the 6th, we don't need the desired eye anymore. Standridge is a cold pitcher. And since Monroe singled his last time up, he is a hot batter. So we got a hot batter against a cold pitcher. We got a 2-3. 2-3. Cold pitcher, second guesses catcher, delivers hesitant pitch, batter line single to center field. So Monroe, a single, puts runners at first and second, nobody out for Eric Munson. And now Standridge in definite jeopardy here. It's a 2-5-6. And on a 2-5-6, that check is asking, is he a struggler? No, he's not. Is he champion or patient? Eric Munson is semi-patient. Desired Eye says he's patient. So it's a walk, and that's going to load the bases. And now Standridge will become a semi-struggler. Bases loaded, nobody out. And Brandon Inge, the batter. And Inge, 0 for 1 with a walk. It's a 1-2-2. 1-2-2. Is he a workman? No, he's not a workman. Is he champ or a whiffer? Inge is a whiffer, so he will get nudged an infield single. And that's going to tie the ball game. We are all tied at 1 apiece. And there's still nobody out. Standridge now becomes a full struggler, and actually with that in place, Bill Evers had the bullpen loosening, and he is going to motion to that bullpen. He does not want Sanders to struggle any further, so he's going to a left-hander out of the bullpen, and that's going to be big lefty Cedric Bowers. Kind of, if you want to know what Cedric Bowers looks like, he kind of reminds me of Ray King, guy that used to pitch in the major leagues a while back. Kind of a semi-portly left-hander, and nickname Everyday Ray because he can pitch every day. But Cedric Bowers is in, and he's got a tall task ahead of him. Bases loaded, nobody out in a tie ball game, 1-1. He's a star with semi-flash and semi-wild, but he is an ace this first at bat against Wakeland. 235. 235 is coming up. Is he wild? He is semi-wild. The sire die says he's wild, so it's a walk. So Cedric Bowers has just walked in a run. So maybe not the best move to do there to bring in a wild pitcher. But they went for the lefty-righty matchup, and it did not work. All right, so the ace quality is gone, and now it's a 2-1 Toledo lead. Bases still loaded and nobody out for Craig Wilson. They're just trying to minimize damage at this point. 5-6-6. 5-6. Is he wild? Yes, he is. The sire die says he is because it's a semi-wild quality. He has walked in another run. So this has gone from bad to worse. It's now 3-1. And there's still nobody out for the number 9 hitter, Ramon Santiago. He's a switch hitter, so it really doesn't matter about lefty-righty. 4-6-6. 4-6-6 is asking again, is he wild? And he is. It's wild with semi-wild, with the sire die 3 times in a row has come up to be 3 walks in a row. So Mr. Bowers, Mr. Cheap imitation of Everyday Ray, is not long for this game. He is going to come out. He's coming and walked all 3 batters he has faced, and definitely a inauspicious outing for him. He will have to get out of there. So his star and semi-flash qualities did not come into play whatsoever. And coming up in to pitch for the Durham Bulls will be right-hander Tally Hens. So Tally Hens is on, and I'm having to put these cards back in the little folders from the bench area because I don't want the wind blowing them, so that's why it's taking a little bit longer to make these substitutions. Breeze feels nice, but for the cards, it is the one area that is kind of a pain. All right, so Tally Hens is on. He is an ace at bat facing Torres. Base is still loaded and nobody out. And we get a 2-3-4. And a 2-3-4 is runners on base, plate drama. You better believe they're on base. The bases are loaded. So we're going to plate drama on this first at bat. Toby Hall is a neutral catcher. So we get a 2-4. So a 2-4 on plate drama. Ask, is it a wild pitcher? Well, it's a good thing we took Bowers out of there. Hens is not wild, so it won't be a wild pitch. It'll just be a ball, and we're going to the umpire chart. So it would have been another walk, or actually it would have been a wild pitch had Cedric Bowers still been in there. Instead, it's the umpire check on the bases loaded. So we got a bases loaded umpire check. So let's see what happens with this. So 5-6 on the bases loaded umpire check. 5-6 strict umpire at home. The home plate umpire is James Hoy, and he is strict. So Hoy is strict. Let's see what it says. Called third strike. So how about that? Since he was strict, he got the strikeout, and there's one away. Big strikeout needed by Tally Hens there. And that'll bring up Omar Infante. And we get a 1-1-4, which I think is a freshness check, if I'm not mistaken. Trying to go by memory here. 1-1-4, it is a freshness check. It's a ground ball to short. Since it's the second batter of the game, he is fresh, and the ground ball to short is a 6-4-3 double play. So that is one way to get himself out of the inning. So Tally Hens, more like Tally Ho as he gets him out of the inning there. But the damage was already done, as Neil Young once sang. The damage done. 1, 2, there's no needle involved here though. 1, 2, 3, 4 runs for the Toledo Mud Hens. And we go to the bottom of the 6th with Toledo now enjoying a 4-1 lead. And you see the wind really kicking up now. It's knocking the book over. Hopefully this game box will help protect some of these cards from blowing away. All right, here's McCarty. Durham has their work cut out for him. 3-4-5, and all those missed opportunities early could come back to haunt him as well. 3-4-5, iron catcher. No, he's not an iron catcher. Does he have a good eye? McCarty does not have a good eye, so he will strike out. So McCarty starts out the top of the 6th with a strikeout. Takes us to the right now chart, and since we're in the 6th inning, Shane Lou is a hot pitcher, and Jared Sandberg is a hot batter because he singled his last time. So it's a hot pitcher against hot batter, and we get a 2-6 on the right now chart. Ask hot pitcher overpowers batter with best pitch for a strikeout. So Shane, oops, sorry about that, hit the box there. See if I can get this back in frame. As the book, I was trying to, when you're trying to evade the wind, all kinds of things can happen. This is not the most ideal way to do a game, trust me. But with that result, it is another strikeout as Sandberg goes down on strikes. And that'll bring up Toby Hall. 2-out space is empty for Toby Hall. It's a 2-5-6, asking is the pitcher a struggler, which he is not. And let's see here, is the batter champion or patient? Toby Hall is a semi-champion. Desire Die says he's champion, so therefore it is a walk. So a 2-out walk to Toby Hall. Brings up Andy Sheets. Struck out his last time up. 2-3-5. We got asking is the pitcher wild. He is not. Is the batter eager? And the batter Sheets is semi-eager. Desire Die says he's eager, so therefore it's a base hit through shortstop unless he's a whiffer, and unfortunately he's a whiffer, so that overrides that thumb, and so he's going to strike out instead, and that's going to end the 6th. So we go to the 7th as the wind is starting to flex his muscles a bit, and we go to the top of the 7th with Ryan Jackson, who led off the 6th. So they went around all 9 batters last inning. We're back around to the top. Oh, there we go. Shane Lou just flew off, so let's put him back in place. 2-3-3. See what that wind can do for you. Should be playing the game at Wrigley, I guess. 2-3-3, ace or star. Tally Haynes is none of that. Is the batter a slugger? Ryan Jackson is not a slugger, so he will fly to center, and there's one away here in the top of the 7th. We go to the next batter, which is Craig Monroe. Cleanup hitter. Craig Monroe, 2-2-6. That's about being hit by a pitch. Desire Die says he is, so plunk job from Tally Haynes as he just plunks Monroe, and Tally Haynes is semi-fresh, by the way. Here's Eric Munson. Munson, 5-6-6. That should be good enough to get Tally Haynes out of this. He's not wild, I don't believe. No, he's not. Is he have a good eye? No, he doesn't. So it's a strikeout. So that's 2 outs now. And that was in blue, so we're going to the right now chart. Brandon Inge is a hot batter from a previous single, and Haynes is a hot pitcher from that base hit. So we got hot versus hot. Runner at first, 2 outs. 3-6. 3-6. Cold pitcher, no, it's a pop out to the catcher. So it's a pop out to Toby Hall, and that's going to end our top of the 7th. And an airplane is flying by. We're close to a small airport. So some small private planes you might be hearing those periodically. So let's swig of water for me. It's a beautiful day out, and normally I would love this little breeze that's going through, but in this particular instance, it can be a sort of an annoyance. So, but that's just my personal opinion on that. All right, we go to the bottom of the 7th, and actually Shane Lou is going to be lifted as the Mud Hens will be going to the bullpen. Bruce Fields, the manager, will be looking for left-hander Eric Eckenstaller. So Eric Eckenstaller is in for the Mud Hens. He will be in. He's an ace his first at bat. He's a semi-workman with he's a semi-workman with full flash. but he is an ace on his first at bat. And he'll be facing the lefty Jason Smith, so it's lefty on lefty matchup to start the bottom of the 7th. And it's a 2-3-6, which is double control, which is a walk, because he doesn't have it. Very few do. So 2-3-6 is most times a automatic walk. All right, so Jason Smith walks, brings up Brooks Badeau, switch hitter. He'll turn around and bat right-handed this time. 1-2-4, control check, which he does not have. Is the batter eager? No, he's not eager, so he will walk. So back-to-back walks, that's not what Bruce Fields was looking for from his relief corps. Back-to-back walks, we go to the top of the order for Ryan Friel, and the bullpen is again working for Toledo. 2-4-4. 2-4-4 ask, is the pitcher an ace? No, he's not. Is the batter a champion? No, he's not. So it's ground out to short, and that's a fielder's choice. Call it 6-4. And Badeau is out at second for the first out. Jason Smith does manage to go to third. So runners are at the corners with 1 out for Carl Crawford. And that's a 2-2-5. 2-2-5 for Carl Crawford. Is the pitcher a star? No, he's not. Is Crawford a slugger or a sad sack? He is neither. So he will single to center field, and that will drive in a run as Jason Smith comes across the plate to cut the lead to 4-2. He would steal, but with Friel in front of him, he's not going to be able to do that. So runners are at first and second with 1 out. And Eckenthaler didn't quite have it for the Mud Hens, so he's going to be lifted. And they're going to go to a right-hander as the Bulls have a bunch of right-handed batters coming up. So playing the percentages, Bruce Fields will be going to his right-handers out of the bullpen. And he's going to go to right-hander Chris Keller. So right-hander Chris Keller, who's an ace, semi-flash, and semi-wild. He will be a double ace this first at bat. So see how that works out for him against Emil Brown, the righty. So Emil Brown, runners at first, and it's a 3-5-6. It's a good thing they did do that righty, because the 3-5-6 is a right versus, or a righty-lefty check. They're both right-handed, so it is a strikeout. So that's why you play the percentages in this game, because you never know when that right-left check is going to come up and bite you. And that would have bitten them had they stayed with Eckenthaler. So Bruce Fields looks like a genius there. Runner still at first and second with 2 outs for McCarty. That's a 4-6-6. 4-6-6. Is he wild? Well, he's semi-wild. The Saturday says he's wild, so that's a walk. So that's one thing about Keller. He's a hard thrower, but he's also a little wild. And now he's just loaded the bases with 2 outs for Jared Sandberg. So big opportunity here for Sandberg to put the Bulls right back in the ball game. That's only down 4-2. Base hit. Well, look at this. Another 3-5-6. So it's another left-right check. Righty on righty is another strikeout. So that's the 3rd time it's come up, twice in this inning. And Keller has taken full advantage of it. That's it for the Bulls. They do get a run, but they could have got a lot more. And we go to the 8th with the score. Durham trailing Toledo 4-2. And now we'll have another new pitcher for the Bulls, as Hens has lost all freshness. So Bill Evers will dip into his bullpen again. And let's see who he's going to go with. Let's see who's coming up. Well, we've got a lefty coming up for the Mud Hens. So he's going to go to lefty Tom Martin out of his bullpen. He's an ace, star, and double flash. So obviously excellent qualities there. So he's hoping to keep things right where they are, as he's facing left-hander Chris Wakeland. It will be a lefty-on-lefty matchup. So Martin is in to face Wakeland. Wakeland is 1 for 2 with a single and a walk. It's a 3-4-6. Almost got the 3-5-6, but 3-4-6. Blank for the pitcher. Is he eager? Wakeland is semi-eager. Desiree says he's eager, so he will fly to center. It will not be a walk. It'll be a fly to center for out number 1. That brings up Craig Wilson. Wilson's a 1-5-6, and it's asking to see a whiffer. Craig Wilson actually has a good eye, semi-good eye, so he's not a whiffer. It's outfield drama time for the Bulls, and they got a good outfield, except for Emil Brown. He's iron, but everybody else is either gold or semi-gold. It's a 1-6. 1-6 is asking about, in the outfield drama, right fielder stoic. The right fielder Brown is iron, but he's semi-active. He's not stoic, so he will make the play. Fly out to right field for out number 2. So although he was iron, he does have speed, so he's able to make the play. For 2 outs very quickly for Ramon Santiago. Switch hitter 256, and 256 is asking about a struggler, which Martin certainly is not. He's not a struggler, so is he a batter, a champion, or patient? Santiago is a champion, so he will walk. So 2-out walk to Santiago. Brings up Andres Torres. Torres 3-4-5, and 3-4-5 is asking about an iron catcher, which Hall is not. Does he have a good eye? No, he doesn't, so he will strike out. And that will end. And that's the golden sombrero for Torres. He has 4 strikeouts in the game. That's going to end the 8th, or in the top of the 8th. We go to the bottom of the 8th. The score is 4-2. Chris Keller is going to stay in there. He's now semi-fresh. He's facing Toby Hall. It's a 1-4-4. And a 1-4-4 asks, does he have flash? He has semi-flash, but the sire die says no. Is the batter Hall a hero? Toby Hall is a hero, so he will single to right field. He will single to right field being a hero. Sorry I didn't get that in camera. I was thinking it was there and it wasn't. But Hall singles, and now Andy Sheets is up, and the Mudhen bullpen is in full force again. Lefty and a righty down there. 1-3-4. 1-3-4 asks, is a gold catcher? Inge is not a gold catcher. He's neutral. Is the batter a champion? Andy Sheets is not a champion. So we have outfield drama for Toledo. And for Toledo in their outfield, they are all neutral. And we have a 3-4 on the outfield drama chart, with all being neutral. 3-4. Left fielder iron. No, he's not iron, so he will make the catch. So Craig Monroe hauls it in for 1 away. That brings up Jason Smith. Jason Smith is up. And with the lefties coming up, they're going to go to the bullpen again. So Chris Keller will be lifted for a lefty. And the left-hander that's coming on now is Matt Parasho. Matt Parasho, the lefty. He's a semi-ace with control. He will be an ace and a half on this first at-bat. And the Mudhens, if they still have the lead in the 9th, do have, of course, their closer, Fernando Rodney, he of the shooting the arrows. He would be coming in to pitch the 9th if it's a save situation. But right now, Parasho is trying to make sure it gets that way. He is facing the lefty, Jason Smith. And Smith is 1 for 2, a single and a walk. Parasho, lefty on lefty to Jason Smith. It's a 1-2-3. That's asking about flash and fresh. He is not flash. He is fresh, but he's not flash. So that's a ground ball to short, and with lead die 1, that's a double play. So Parasho did what he needed to do. He got Smith to hit into a 6-4-3 double play to end the 8th inning. So nothing doing there. Score stays 4-2 as we go to the 9th, and it's not a save situation, and I wouldn't normally do this in a regular season game, but since it's an exhibition, the Bulls will go ahead and bring in their closer, Lee Gardner. So Lee Gardner will come in and pitch the 9th to try to keep it the score that it is, and Fernando Rodney is loosening in the Toledo bullpen. So he would come on in the bottom of the 9th, but first things first, Lee Gardner, 5th pitcher used by Bill Evers and the Bulls. He'll be facing Omar Infante. Gardner's a semi-ace. He'll be ace and a half this at bat. 1-1-2, and a 1-1-2 ask, does he have flash? He's got semi-flash, but the sire die says no. Is the batter a sad sack? Infante is not, so we have check with scorer. So that's either going to be a hit or an error. And it's a 2, so anything a low number like that produces a hit. The higher numbers 4, 5, and 6 produce errors. This is a base hit for Infante. So Infante leadoff single, and that brings up Ryan Jackson as the Bulls try to keep that was a 1, I do believe. 1-4-5. I hit it with my finger. 1-4-5. Is he struggling? No, he's not. It's a ground ball to third, and that's going to be a 3-6-3 double play. I'm sorry, a 5-6-3 double play with that lead die of 1. So 5-4-3 double play. I think it said 5-6-3. It's 5-4-3. And there's 2 quick outs for Craig Monroe. And that's a 2-3-3. 2-3-3 ask is pitcher an ace or a star. He's a semi-ace, which means that falls into that category of being in between, so that does count. Plus the sire die gave it to him anyway, so it's a ground ball to short. But anytime the book asks for either ace or star, if you're a semi-ace, you fall in between those categories. Anytime it asks for 2 and you're in between, it counts. So we go to the bottom of the 9th, and coming on for the Toledo Mud Hens will be the closer, Fernando Rodney. He will be in to try to close things down. So Fernando Rodney is in, and he's an ace, a star, flash, and semi-control. He will, of course, be a double ace on this first at bat. And he's scheduled to face Brooks Badeau, but we could get a pinch hitter from Bill Evers. I believe we will get a pinch hitter for Badeau. So let's check the sorry, I got a frog in my throat. Let's check the Bulls bench and see who they have. They're going to go with Jason Tyner, prototypical leadoff hitter. So Jason Tyner will pinch hit for Badeau as he tries to get something going against Fernando Rodney. So Jason Tyner pinch hitting for Badeau. So we'll make that note on the score sheet. Jason Tyner, and if for some reason they're able to tie the game and send it to extras, we'll get a new second baseman in there. But right now they're worried about getting runners on base. Here's Jason Tyner against Rodney. 1-4-5. Is he a struggler? No, he's not. So that's the role we just had last time for the double play. This is just simply a ground ball to first, and that's going to be an easy out as Jason Tyner fails in his pinch hitting duties. Brings up Brian Friel. Friel, a 2-3-3. 2-3-3, ace or star? He is both. You can take your pick. So he's both, so that's a yes. And it's a ground ball to short, even though the wind kind of got him there. That is a ground ball to short for out number 2, and 1 out away from victory for the Mud Hens. And here's Carl Crawford. You got to wonder how many times they faced each other in the major leagues, these two guys. 1-4-5, again, it goes back to being a struggler. He is not. It's a ground ball to first, and the ball game is over. And you can't see it, but Fernando Rodney has pulled back the arrow and is fired and given the shot to the Bulls to say, I got you. And it's another save for Fernando Rodney. So unfortunately for Tony Spicciali, the Bulls were not able to win this one. They had that rough 6th inning where especially Cedric Bowers walked 3 guys, and maybe I took Standers out too quick, I don't know, but Bowers against the lefty I thought would have done something, but he had control problems and really just a major fail for him. So, and it seems to happen to me, I don't know why, but every time I try to do a tribute game to somebody, whatever team they support seems to lose the video I do. So don't know if that's a bad pattern or what, but it just seems that way. When I did the couple for Steve Tower, Boston lost both times, and now I did this one for Durham, and the Bulls lose. So I don't know what to say about it. You really can't you know, determine what's going to happen. It either happens when it does or it doesn't. It can't be pre-planned when you're rolling dice. Anything can happen with the dice and the game board. So it is what it is, as the old expression goes. So Tony, I'm sorry about your Bulls. At least it was a fairly close game, 4-2, and you got to see a lot of former major leaguers as a playing goes through. Got to see a lot of former major leaguers show up and represent in this game. So that's can be kind of neat sometimes, I think. The wind was a little bit of an issue once in a while, but not too bad. I did enjoy getting out in the fresh air and doing this game. So Tony, I hope you, even though the result was not what you might have wanted, I hope you appreciated the game. And for all you folks out there that enjoy History Maker Baseball, Hope you enjoyed that particular presentation, even though you may not be a minor league fan. To me, it's kind of like it's almost like the minor league set's almost kind of like the fictional set, in that you know, it may not be players you've heard of before, but they are real players, so it's kind of an in-between. So, and like I said, 2002 International League season was the year I was a season ticket holder, and just has a special place near and dear to my heart, and that's why I do that. And I'll be doing a lot of these games, probably not on camera, but a lot of them just to kind of have something different to do other than just the Atlanta Braves replay. So that's going to do it from here at the Little League field that I'm at. And once again, the final score was Toledo 4 and Durham 2. Winning pitcher was Shane Liu. The losing pitcher, because of the runners that came across inherited, is Jason Standridge, ends up taking the loss. And the save goes to Fernando Rodney, who fired his arrow into the air. So that's going to do it from here. Hope everybody has a great day whenever you watch this, and keep rolling whatever game you choose to play, and I will catch you all down the road.